Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie, and it's day 10.
This is the second matchup of the second round. It comes to us from bracket 2. It features the number 2 overall seed, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof, versus number 15 for Julie, Woodford Wheat, and number 18 for me, Blanton's Single Barrel Bourbon.
I still can't believe we split this one.
I'll never really forgive you.
So we should note that I poured Phil's, which is the Jack Daniel's and the Blanton's, and then he poured mine, which is also the Jack Daniel's and the Woodford Wheat. Don't know which one it is. It's not the same for both of us, so we could be tasting different glasses, but tasting the same thing.
Yeah, as much chaos as we had in the first round, it could get so much worse now. Well, I'm excited to get into it. Let's dig in.
That smells good. Woo. It's so much weirder when we're not doing the same thing.
It's going to be real strange. Yeah, if you were confused before, you know, it doesn't get better.
Because now when I say like, oh, this one smells really cinnamony, you're like, no, it smells like grass clippings or whatever.
At least one of those is going to smell like grass clippings. I would guarantee that. I am going in for a taste of glass number 1, which so far smells like pretty lightweight, easy, straight ahead, sipping bourbon, maybe a little bit of red apple on the front. Give it a sip.
I say my glass 2 burned my nose hairs a bit.
I was going to say the same thing about glass 2. What do you think the odds are, to reiterate the proof point on these? This Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof is 128 proof. The Blanton's is 93 proof. And the Woodford is 90.4 proof. So we're both gonna know what we're drinking with some certainty pretty quickly because of the proofs alone. Oh, glass B smells so good. Just bananas and bubble gum and treats.
Yeah, what's funny is that I tasted my glass number 1. You just assume it's gonna be, I was just like assuming both of these are gonna be this one because this one was surprisingly flavorful, and then I take a taste of glass number 2, so much more flavor. Like all the caramels, all the, deliciousness comes through.
If you're the type of person who sees the name Jack Daniel's and says, I drank that in college, or that's the stuff you mix with Coke or whatever, this bottle here, and really from what we hear, a lot of their higher end stuff, but specifically for us, this bottle, the Single Barrel Proof, is nothing like the typical Jack Daniel's. It is really, really unique. In my opinion, that bottle there, each time I've had it, I've tasted something different or more unique in it. It tastes like bananas Foster in a glass to me.
Yeah, I remember when you told me that you wanted to get this, I was super skeptical. We watched a couple reviews just to kind of get the lay of the land on this one. It was so highly recommended that we just went for it, and I'm glad we did.
Yeah,
it's delicious.
Absolutely. This was our first experience with it was around a campfire, and it was just such a great bottle to share, and it had so much flavor that even though we've been sitting around the smoke all night and had been drinking other things, it cut through that and it was still impactful. So really a great bottle, and I think maybe another sip or two, but I already have my decision personally.
It should be a fairly quick video just because we've already been through all the tasting notes on these, but glass number 1 for me drinks a lot hotter, but glass number 2 has a lot more complexity and flavors. Part of me is like, was my glass number 2 experience just kind of tampered down because I didn't drink any water between the two of them? Like almost all of the videos now, I get confused.
You're really flying solo now.
Yeah, I get definitely get in my head and I think about proof and all the other stuff, plus a weeder,
So in round 1, the Blanton's was giving off a tasting note that I've never gotten before, and that was the apple juice, and we're right back to that. It's so strange. I've never experienced that with this bottle before. And honestly, I don't dislike it. It's really unique. It's really nice. It's just, it's something I've never gotten before.
I'm actually really deep in thought on this one because I know which one I'm going to choose. I know which one that I think it is. I'm not 100% sure on it, only because I don't know if glass number 1 is throwing me a bit because it's drinking so hot, and if it's the wheat, it should only drink it, it's only 90 proof, so it shouldn't drink that hot, or if it's throwing me because It's just not as smooth and flavorful as the other one. Is that weird?
Yeah, it's super weird because I'm nervous now. I'm nervous about where you're going with this one.
Really?
A little bit, yeah. I'll say this though. Glass number 1 for me, which I am 100% sure is the Blantons, I was ready to write it off completely, but because of this tasting, the way that they're sort of bouncing off of each other, I'm getting confectioner's sugar, I'm getting apple juice, I'm getting unbelievable sweetness that I never got from a Blanton's product before. I'm enjoying it so much more than I usually do. I like Blanton's, but I'm not crazy about it. I'm really enjoying it right now.
I'm having a moment. I really like them both.
Well, they did both make it to the second round.
No, I know, but I thought it was gonna be just like a no-brainer.
I thought this was gonna be really easy too. But that Glass B, that bubblegum, maple syrup, banana, sweetness note, there's so much going on there. It's so complex. For the glass that really drinks hotter for me, for the Jack Daniel's glass, which I'm not even making pretense anymore. I know it's glass 2. Once it hits my tongue on the midpoint of my palate, it's just like drinking maple syrup. It's so rich. It's so sweet. There's brown sugar, there's caramelized sugars, not just caramel, but there's just such complexity there that you don't really get with other whiskeys. I'm torn a little bit, but it is hard to pick against that flavor profile.
And I'm gonna say, my glass number 2, I've been kind of slow sipping this one. The more I drink it, the more of that earthier feel, or the earthier taste that I'm getting. It's gonna sound gross when I say this, but like almost like a dirt kind of taste, but not in a bad way. So it goes back to that like earthy taste. But it's different because earlier I thought it had like a very sweet taste to it. I guess this is why you do like extended tastings, because the flavors change so much the longer they sit.
The one thing that I would say about the Blanton's glass 1, I'm getting real legs on it, and it's syrupy. You know, it's not really immediately written off. I know a lot of people just are so anti-Blanton's because it's allocated, it's hard to get. If you want to get Blanton's, you have to know somebody, you have to go to the right store, you have to really luck out on delivery dates and things like that in a lot of places. We've been fortunate that we've gotten several of these bottles from liquor stores that we've, whether owners that we've befriended or just people that have been nice to us. It's a fine bourbon, so in no way am I breaking bad on it.
Well, and you
I'm
enjoying
enjoying it. I know, I'm enjoying it, and I just want to make that clear that this is a way harder decision than I thought it was going to be.
Agreed. And mainly because I know how much you hate Woodford Wheat, but I'm saying like I am shocked by how much I'm enjoying both of these.
This Jack Daniel's bottle is the last Tennessee whiskey in the competition for us. We booted the Dickel Bottled and Bond 2020.
I am struggling. Like in all seriousness.
I kind of poured these heavy too, thinking that we're only doing one today, so we'll want as much as possible.
It goes back to that, like, I can make a snap decision. Like if we were gonna, taste one, and you have to go. But bourbon whiskey drinking isn't about just like taking a shot. Not that I suppose you couldn't just like take a shot and run.
There's no reason to rush it.
But like the enjoyment of it, and man, the flavors just like open up on both of these. I mean, on all of them.
Some are better than others, and these two deserve to be in the second round for me, and I'm sure you feel that way too.
I do, but like I only feel like one of them really deserves to be in the third round.
I'm kind of having that feeling where like the last one that I sipped is my favorite one. That's not right.
Yeah.
It's a weird time for this to happen, but that's the most I've ever enjoyed a glass of Blanton's. It's just terrible timing because I was fully ready to pick Jack Daniel's. And since that's the only thing that I've got left to drink, I'm going to go head back to it.
My last sip did it for me.
Okay.
I'm going to go with glass number 1. After sipping the entire glass, because I have nothing left in both of these, because I was really struggling with this, at the end, glass number 1 broke through for me.
Okay. Good.
What about you?
For me, it's glass 1 put up such a strong fight. It was so good. And this matchup has been so tasty. I finished both of mine. I think that's the first time that's happened. I'm going with my glass 2.
Glass number 2?
Yeah, the last couple sips I had of it were brown sugar, maple, confectioner's sugar on top. Even the finish tastes like sugar. It's so good. It's so sweet. It hits my profile just right. Glass 1 was delicious, but it's not satisfying the way that glass 2 is. I'm going glass 2.
You are so better at describing why you like things than I am.
I think you're doing great. Should we find out what they are?
We should. And let's start with you.
Okay.
Because I feel like mine's a bit riskier.
I chose glass B.
That is Jack Daniels. Moving forward.
I had a feeling. You chose glass 1.
And that was a switch because in the middle of this, I was 100% on board with 2. This is a testament to how hard this one was for me. So glass 1.
Glass 1 for you.
Oh, wait. A.
Glass 1 for you is also the Jack Daniels.
Oh.
So I'm much relieved that this one goes away.
For you, I'm going to say that this Woodford Wheat I would recommend. Phil doesn't recommend. I would recommend it. So up until the 11th hour, this was like for sure going forward. But when I got to the end of the glass, it just almost became, I don't want to say dry, but just wasn't as flavorful. And then I switched over to this one and it just really knocked my socks off. So
my experience was very similar. As good as this Blanton's was, as good, as sweet, as lovely and well balanced and perfectly delicious as it was, and for a lot of bourbon purists out there, you'll be pretty angry that this didn't make it any further than it did. Bottom line is that this is so unique, so interesting, so flavorful. It's not just the proof, it is the age, it is the uniqueness. It's just delicious. There's not much more to say about it. If you like these flavor profiles on any of these 3, you're not doing anything wrong. They're all so different. These are all completely different whiskeys.
And what came out of it for me is that this little guy here needs to be worried next round, because I thought this was a shoo-in for not the end, but at least like the final 4.
I pictured that in the final 4 immediately when we tasted it.
And because this put up such a good challenge.
So we will see the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel again in the next round. That's going to square off against either Eagle Rare 10-year or Four Roses Single Barrel, depending on what we pick later on in this round.
Ooh, that's going to be a tough matchup.
That is not going to be easy. So you took the words out of my mouth. This bottle is on shaky ground right now. So we will see what happens in round 3 with that bottle, and we will see what happens on day 11 tomorrow.
Oh man, we're moving right along.
We're whipping through these.
All right. So from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers. To empty glasses.
I got a little something in there.
Oh, lucky.